I know this title might be a little clickbaity, but I don't care. It's simply the truth. After LSU's terrible loss to UCLA, a game that many bettors in Vegas had as their upset of the week, their performance against UCLA looks really bad for an LSU team that's looking to improve on an up and down season last year, and the loss against UCLA is not the way the Tigers want to start their 2021 campaign. This loss should get some media members and fans questioning whether Eddie O is actually a good coach, or just an average coach who had one good year behind a great quarterback. Well, in today's video, we'll talk about LSU's home opener against UCLA, and why I think despite being only the first game of the year, and why it's the beginning of the end of Ed Orgeron's time in Baton Rouge. If you love football, whether it be college or NFL, then this is the channel for you. If you can make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and comment down below on who or what I should cover next. But anyways, now that we took care of business, let's talk about Ed Orgeron and the LSU Tigers. In what was one of the biggest upsets in week 1 of the college football season, UCLA followed up a great performance they had in week 0 against Hawaii into another great performance in a highly anticipated matchup between the LSU Tigers of the SEC. For one quarter, it appeared that the two storied programs could be heading for a classic defensive battle, with neither team being on the scoreboard after 15 minutes of play. Then UCLA simply just turned it up on their level and had over 400 total yards of offense when it's all said and done, in a stunning 38-27 upset. The Tigers didn't look all that bad, as I liked what I saw out of the quarterback Max Johnson. He took a licking from the Bruins defense and showed a lot of poise and made some really big throws. But on the flip side, added pressure from his lackluster O-line was a negative because at times he just looked uncomfortable in the pocket, and Johnson would miss some very easy checkdown routes when facing significant pressure. Also, not having a running game really hurt the Tigers as well. As for UCLA, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he had his own gaps too behind center, throwing for a pick and completing only a little bit more than 50% of his passes. But he did have great moments and ran Kelly's high-tempo offense to a T. Of course, he got a lot of help by Zach Charbonnet, and of course his defense only held the Tigers to 47 yards on the ground. After the game, while the Bruins players celebrated and the stadium was singing along to Tupac's California Love, Ed Orgeron called out a UCLA fan who was talking to the coach after the win and begged the fan to challenge him and called the UCLA shirt he was wearing Sissy Blue.
The guy before the game, as you walked in, were you just kind of kidding around, or did he make you with what he said about the previous UCLA game you had?
No, that was all in fun. All that wasn't fun.
So, naturally, the Bruins decide to capitalize on this and make their own Sissy Blue shirt. And now this is the perfect segue to talk about the man himself, Eddie O. Orgeron has been a moderately successful head coach at LSU. Despite the one-off Joe Burrow season where the stars aligned for the Tigers and they were able to win a national championship behind his back, he hasn't had the Tigers anywhere close to a college football playoff game. I feel like Eddie O's situation is very similar to what Gene Chizik went through at Auburn. Chizik was an average coach throughout his tenure with the Tigers, but for that memorable 2010 season, he got the #1 overall pick, Cam Newton, who was transferring in from Bladen Community College, and of course won the Tigers national championship. But look, 2 years later, when the expectations got very high, Chizik couldn't get them anywhere close to a national championship, and eventually was fired. I'm not saying Eddie O will ever be as bad as Chizik was in his last year where he only won 3 games, but I do believe this season Orgeron will possibly be let go. The SEC is the most competitive football conference in the country. At a school like LSU, it's college football playoff or bust most of the time. Going back to Chizik, he was fired, after only 2 years after his national title win. The days of the 30-year Joe Paz or Bear Bryant tenures are seemingly all but over in college football, unless your name is, of course, Nick Saban, who constantly keeps winning and probably has more power than the University of Alabama school president. And to some extent, Dabo Swinney, who has done half of what Nick Saban has done in his coach career so far. And also not to mention all the controversy off the field surrounding his handling of his players like Darius Geis. He was accused of sexually assaulting a female student during his time at LSU. Personally, for me, when I think of Eddie O, I think of a rah the troops type of coach with a funny Cajun accent who is always entertaining, but maybe just that, entertaining. Throughout his head coaching career, he has gone 61-42, and isn't really that bad of a coach, but a big reason for his current success is him and his staff's ability to recruit top-end players. I hope he does succeed. I like Ed Orgeron. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's good for the game of college football, and he certainly has a presence about him that people tend to be drawn towards. But if he has a bad season this year and follows that up with another bad season, expect him to be gone quicker than Gene Chizik was after he won his national title. If you compare the two coaches' tenures where they won their first natty at, Orgeron is definitely the more successful coach of the two. But in the SEC, it's not what have you done in the past, it's what have you done for me lately. There's also some rumblings from the leading brass at the university disliking Orgeron's attitude of wanting to do it his way and his way only, and not wanting any help from the school, even though they reached out an extended hand to help Orgeron and the program out. I honestly think Eddie O's time is coming to an end at LSU, and personally, I would love to see a guy like him on TV. If Lee Corso decides to retire, I would gladly welcome Eddie O to the College Game Day family. But we just gotta wait and see what the future holds. Thanks guys for watching this video. I really appreciate the support. My UConn video got tons of views and I appreciate all the support on that video. And if you guys liked today's video, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another upload, as we're right in the beginning of the college football and NFL season, so I'll be uploading multiple times a week. So be prepared for tons and tons of content in the near future. And until next time guys, peace.